Hello there. I really hope you are keeping safe. Well, as safe as I am. Well, some would say you can never be too safe, but just be as safe as possible. You know, the times we are in, this is the time of COVID-19. But somehow we still need to see how we can get about activities. My name is Cecile Egbele, and you're welcome to the Medley Show. Now, life has not been as it used to be before the lockdown. Many businesses have shut down, and gradually the economy is reopening. There are so many sectors of the economy who have been screaming that they have been worse hit, and one of these is the entertainment industry. And today we'll be talking about movies and theater. How have they been striving during this period? We know that a couple of some productions were actually streamed online. Some theater productions were also online. Some drive-in theaters happened, and so many others along the way. We'll talk about these and many more. But first, let's take a look at some Nigerian movies that were set for release. You know, their promos were already running before the lockdown. They were set for release for the premiere, but somehow they never got to have their movie premiered or released. And they also did not release it on digital media like so many others did. So let's have a look at some of these, about 5 of these movies which were actually set for release during and have been hard hit by the lockdown.
It's no longer news that the COVID-19 pandemic crippled lots of activities around the world, with the movie industry inclusive. With cinemas shut down and digital streaming platforms the next alternative, some film releases were affected, as not every filmmaker wants to go the digital route. So here are some Nollywood movies we hope to see when this is all over. First up is a project of the Audrey Silver Company, La Femme and Jola.
I was counting on this deal to give us both a new start. Why didn't you show up?
Written by Tunde Babalola, this movie stars Rita Dominic in lead as a femme fatale married to a wealthy gangster, and Nonso Bassi as a young stockbroker who falls in love with her. Viewers' anticipation was raised since October 2019, when the first teaser was released. Sadly, we have to wait a little longer, with no specific date for release announced yet.
Decontamination process complete.
Directed by Dimeji Ajibola, Ratnik is Nollywood's anticipated sci-fi movie that managed to pick 2 awards at the AMVCA 2020 before its release. Set in a remote African town, a brazen special trooper is on a race to save his sister from becoming an undead.
I've always seen this.
Starring Osasi Godaro, Bolanle Ninalowo, Aduni Ade and more, Ratnik was slated for release on the 10th of April 2020. But since the production company announced its postponement due to the pandemic, we await the announcement of a new date.
You look like one of the Sino-Russian soldiers.
Hi, my name is Yetunde, and meet Sally.
No, go say Kasa, go say Kes.
Toyin Abraham's Fate of Alakada, the Party Planner, is one comedy drama that we all awaited in 2020. But from its original date of April 3rd, 2020, we're looking at a halt indefinitely, according to producer and lead character Toyin Abraham.
Depends. You need to give us the quantity of people that would die that day.
This movie tells the story of a fake event planner and her assistant who want to cash in on what they think event planners make on a single job. The movie aims to poke fun at social media and the current Nigerian pop culture. When do we get to see this? Who knows?
That's like a tip of the iceberg.
Haven't you heard about
love?
We were about to witness a beautiful love story from two of the world's biggest movie industries, Bollywood and Nollywood, until COVID-19 struck. Titled Namaste Wahala, this intercultural love story produced by Hamisha Daryani Abuja weaves a tale across two diverse and rich cultures, India and Nigeria.
This is not gonna happen.
You bring me an Indian?
Originally slated for an April 2020 release, Hamisha announced a new date of October 2020. She said it was inevitable due to the extension of post-production schedules as a result of the lockdown.
She who is bewitched by the moon goddess and Oshun, the goddess of love.
Finally, on our yet-to-be-released list is a Christian drama, Our Jesus Story. Initially billed for an Easter release, the lockdown preceded the Easter celebration and in turn halted the release. Lead actor in the movie, Frederick Leonard, announced the postponement on his social media page with no new release date in sight. Condemned to death by his native pagan town, a young boy flees to a foreign land but returns 20 years later to tell his people the story of Jesus. Though digital streaming platforms appear to be the best form of movie releases at the moment, some filmmakers are willing to wait for theaters to reopen, just as some film lovers wait patiently.
Wow, some of the movies which were actually set for release before the lockdown actually hit, and somehow they've actually not made their way to the big screen just yet. Well, I was actually looking forward to some of these, like Namaste Wahala. I wanted to know how the Nollywood, Bollywood collabo would actually turn out. Well, we actually hope that they get to show it to us as soon as possible. Now, talking movies and theatre production during the period of the lockdown and what the future will be, I have two guests with me in the studio. Let me start with the one they call the Oga. Francis Duru. He needs little of no introduction at all. Francis Duru. Francis Duru is a UN ambassador for peace, for your influence on youths in Nigeria, of course, in Africa, an actor and theatre thespian. You're welcome, Francis.
Thank you so much, Cecil.
You are the Oga.
A big name where they kill small dog.
Oh, please save us that. we know you know. All right. From this other side, we have a producer, a director, a writer. I don't know if he's a theatre artist too. I'm talking about Dimbo Atiya. Dimbo, you're welcome.
Nice to be here.
Are you also a thespian?
No, I can't act to save my life. So
No way.
trust me, I can't.
Okay, now not talking theatre now. In the movies,
Everywhere, any form of acting, I can't act to save my life.
Dimbo says he can't act to save his life.
I can tell you right now that I've been asked to do one scene in a production I'm doing right now. That scene does not require me to say anything, but I'm still thinking.
Wait.
No, I'm not even kidding you. My producer has insisted that I must wear costume and sit down behind the desk and pretend.
So wait, Francis, are you? Well, you won't understand. You may not understand because you can do it. You can do it all. But wait. So when you tell the actors to do this,
Yeah.
You know what you want them to do.
Oh, absolutely. But I can't in any way translate
Yeah.
it myself.
Does that work?
It works.
It works.
Is
It
this
happens.
It works.
seriously?
It
Like,
works.
I can't do it for. It's not even like I'll probably do like maybe 50 takes for me to get the first line.
Yeah. No, for real, it works.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the reason why I admire a lot of artists or actors or thespians who can really, really hold down the dialogue and deliver and perform, not just hold it down. It's something that I look out for.
Okay, but you can sing.
Well, yeah, I used to sing in church. But not
Yeah.
these days.
But you're a fantastic singer in the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I try.
Okay, so before the end of the program, we'll assume that this is your bathroom, so you're thinking about what you want to sing for us. Francis!
Yes.
Did the lockdown actually, because many entertainers, musicians, actors and all, we've heard them crying that this period has been really bad for them. So I don't know how it's been for you. I know that you've done a few stuff during this lockdown period, like, okay, theater at least I know. So how's it been for you?
Well, the same thing, it's a lockdown. It's a lockdown. No progress, things stop, stagnant, When you can't move, what happens?
Yeah, but your art is something you can take virtually, can't you?
No, you see, let me say it's a contact thing. People need to meet people. You want to do your event, even more or less, even as an MC, even as a comedian, even as an actor, even you go to shoot your movies. How virtual can you be? It's just the truth. Yeah, we can pretend, yes, okay, this is an alternative, but the substance and the shadow can never be the same, no matter how they look alike.
If I may add, the high for any theatre practitioner is the immediate response that you get from the audience. That live feed. That's pretty much what a thespian, a theatre art practitioner feeds on. That what gives them the high. I mean, so when that is missing, it takes away a lot of the performance, trust me.
You know something, going back to what you just said, the practical experience, you were there. Oh, did a drive-in theatre.
Yes.
It was the toughest moment for me as an actor when cars represent the audience. When hooting of the
became the applause.
That is replaces the applause. So you as an actor, the good thing there for me was that I know what it means to be on set. And I know what it means to be on stage. So at that moment, what I did was just like wear my cloak of standing in front of the camera.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so
okay.
it's very difficult. You cannot take away people from entertainment.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to talk about the drive-in theatre and how that went. Now, and Dimbo, like you've said, the people have said, the lockdown actually made things pause. I know you were on set of a production. I believe you were also on set of a production. But somehow, when the lockdown was eased, I understand that you went back on set for the shoot of your movie, Halita. Yeah. Oh, by the way, and Dimbo is the executive producer of the movie Halita, the series Halita, and also he's done Sons of the Caliphate.
He's a director.
He's a director, he's a writer, he's not an actor. Emphasis, he's not an actor.
I'm not an actor.
Exactly.
He commands actors.
He commands actors. All right, so you went back on set when the lockdown was eased. How did you manage taking into cognizance the protocols, and you need, like you say, contact is important?
So I think one of the things that really helped us was before the coronavirus situation, we had a very strong leadership setup in our production company. What that means is that we had the total trust of our cast and our crew, even before we knew a pandemic was going to happen. So our relationship with them helped in a way so that when we were ready to come back, post coronavirus, it was easy for them to believe us when we said to them, in the midst of all the fears, like people were afraid when they said, oh, lockdown will be easy, you can go back to work. It was so much prepping of the mind that we had to do, but it didn't take us a lot because we already had a set of crew and cast who believed us when we said to them, look, we're going to make sure that we had protocol in place. And don't forget that our client already had an SOP, standard operating protocol, that already was on ground in terms of everybody going back to work. This must be the protocol. And so for us, it was something that we saw. The last season of the show had about 80 crew members. Just crew. I'm not talking about cast.
Just crew.
Just the
That's
crew.
what it's supposed to have. Or that's
what we had. About 80 members of the crew. Just the crew. Yeah, I'm not talking. We had like two sets of crews for the production.
How did you manage?
I mean, we had to cut down to 13 people.
Are you serious?
Yes, yeah. We had to cut down to 13 people just so we can observe social distancing.
Where
it was very, very important.
Where and how?
Well, I mean, we had to get pretty much almost head of department. If you're going to head a department, it means you're very good in what you do.
Okay.
And so we had head of departments come back and then pretty much 1 or 2 assistants. But then what that meant is that everybody had to double up on something. So, for example, our cinematographers became gaffers at the same time. So they would do the light setting and then they would do cinematography. You know, the sound guys, we had to cut down sound guys. So the sound recorder himself now turned into a boom guy. So, yeah, pretty much, you know. And so our stylist became the continuity for costume. So what that automatically meant is that, look, you have to be able to know how to do double.
Yeah,
that's what the industry is all about.
Like my former boss would say, you have to be a multiple-legged player.
Yeah, you have to be multi-talented as it is right now in the industry. Even though, you know, so after that, you know, when we put the protocol in place, make sure everybody had the marks, the cleaning process, the checking in before you come, and then, you know, the social distancing. We were not putting lav mics on our talent. I mean, we had to boom it so that you put a distance between the sound guys and the talent. You know, but after a while, you know, and we all stayed in camp. So that's the only thing that you must understand, that everybody that was coming back to tidy up the show had to stay in camp. Yeah, so we had to camp everybody. So for the entire 1 month that we were back to finish filming, we all stayed in the camp. That way we know where you are. We could observe you. So if people didn't go out a lot to go and mingle.
To go mingle.
You know, so yeah, that really helped, because psychologically it helps others relax to say, you know what,
okay,
I think I'm in safe place and in safe hands.
Francis,
so that worked for us.
How has it worked? Have you been on set since this period?
To be candid, I think I've done 2 experimentals on stage, and done up to like 3 short films. You know, just like he said, you know, those things are just more or less, you know, repeated. You just have to. But the truth about it is that, you know, the artist is a risk taker. When you are overpowered by the passion to deliver, to give the work, it's just like, okay, it's an emergency time, we just need to do it. Our fans have been starved. I, for one, I'll tell you, like, I'm more or less an ardent follower of Halita, he knows. And it was, so, and it was one thing, you know, each time I go through this, I even see that even Halita, Hausa, and all that, I'll follow up to just to make sure, you know. So there was, you know, or there has been a need to, like, you know, keep it up. Like my teacher, someday they will say, the show must go on.
The show must go on,
No, he said, no, the show must show.
The show must show.
yeah, so the show must show. And if the show must show, it means you have to cut out. The first project I did was more or less a pro bono. For inclusion of people with disabilities. With Lancelot Immersion. That was our first test. And to be candid, we observed these protocols, testing, checking, and all that stuff. So for us, it's like, you know, you have no choice but to, like, live up to the expectation or go beyond the expectation to make sure that you deliver. It's art, whether we like it or not. It's the one thing that sustains humanity.
Wow. Okay, you know what? Now we know the problem, and even though I will still add that some people are actually rendered jobless, and that's that's something we'll talk about. But Francis, we'll talk about the driving theater now. So, but we put this feature together when you have the driving theater and the one with the NCAC.
Gripam.
Gripam, the driving theater featuring Francis Zuru, Rita Ehujovo of Hot FM. And me as a viewer, I actually was in the car, actually watching. It was kind of what we call adjusting, trying to create a normal. I know we had it during the Living in Bondage premiere. Did you get to watch Living in Bondage premiere? Yeah. So we experimented with that. I think that was the first time I actually attended driving in this style. Then we had the other one. So, but just before we get to play the feature, tell us, you talked about the fact that you had to bank on the honking of the car horns too. So how was that? Have you if we have to continue that way till the end of the year, how would that be for you?
First and foremost, you know, every experiment in the art is a good one, because if you do not break the glass ceiling, you cannot create something new. So this moment of disruptive innovation, it is going to, we're going to manage, but it can never be like.
It can never be like.
You know, now the cost of driving theater as compared to the cost of
I was just going to add, because it seems to be a little more expensive.
It's more expensive. Don't forget, inside the car, we had a radio frequency.
Yes.
So while you are inside the car, you watch visuals. Now, the frequency. So it is more. Then you need to amplify sound, visuals, all those things.
I know Alibaba is in the committee in charge of the entertainment and coming back and all that. I don't know how far. I don't know if you have any gist about that, but we'll take that after we get back from the drive-in theater. Let's see it.
As the world is battling COVID-19 and the normal that we know is altering, it is only vital that we adapt to the changing times. And safety being paramount, the National Council for Arts and Culture served their stock in trade in the safest form possible, a drive-in theater. This was also laced with a virtual experience for audience to enjoy in their homes via Facebook and Zoom. All this came together in a medley of colors, giving viewers a graceful evening.
What we're trying to do is to prepare ourselves together that COVID has come, but how do we get out of it? That's why we've adopted this new strategy.
This initiative is not only laudable, you can see that it's actually convenient. From the comfort of your car, you can actually watch movies, you can actually see theater performances.
Well, this is my first experience of a drive-in theater in Nigeria. The drive-in theaters I'm accustomed to are the movie theaters, and not one like this.
Olarotimi's stage play Gripam was the sauce on the dish served hot as Nollywood actor Francis Duru, alongside other cast members, took to the stage to give a thrilling performance of the play. Gripam revolves around the life of Ishe and Aso, a quarrelsome couple living in abject poverty. Their quarrelsome relationship led to God sending an angel to grant them a wish each.
You see this, my own tell God say, I can give me power when you say, anybody wants you on top of this, my orange tree. When I take vex, keep up, that's all.
I think that it's what I want. You don't have it. Now, one thing I'm talking about, you see that Yema? You have to beat Yema when they for the kill him.
Though with individual seemingly negative wishes, it turned out to be their unifying factor.
I beg you, I crave indulgence when you get there. I beg you, since you don't want, make you just help me rub this way. If I don't jump, then I don't die.
Nonsense, man, look at you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, what thing I do when I say make you flop out and jump, make you die the middle. You know what to quit. See the waste time, oh. See orange as orange, food everywhere. Food everywhere. Make you just catch on like this. I beg you, say, I beg, I take no beg.
Make you swear, say, you no go kill me again.
Hey, I don't swear that one again now.
Make you also swear, say, you no go kill me plus my darling wife. Aso. So you send me and you for this one. Who go the jigger? Who go the pusher? Grip up.
There's an infusion of hope from the production, and I like that it ties into domestic matters, because we've seen a surge in domestic violence with the lockdown.
This drive-in theater initiative is a template for the forthcoming National Festival for Arts and Culture, slated to hold in Jos in October 2020.
All right, so that's the drive-in theater show. Gripam was put together by Miriam Sule of NTA Entertainment. Thank you very much there. All right, I still have my two guests with me in the studio, Dimbo Atia and Francis Duru. So, Francis Duru, tell us, if these times persist till end of the year, what's going to happen to theater production? Maybe mid next year.
Well, I think survival is the name of the game, and that's what we're doing now. And so we really want to appreciate individuals, private sector initiatives that have come to still keep, the process on. It's not easy. Like I said, we've done a couple of movies, the Rock Studios people, it's sometimes things happen, the volume of work they have brought in from north, south, and the east right now. It's so enormous. So once these things begin to happen, gradually it begins to tilt off. But whether you like it or not, something has happened. It has happened, and we have to, as creative natives, all we need to do, adjust, adapt, begin to adopt other means. But again, there is need for us to grow from it. I'm one guy who believes that we are still going to get back to normal things. I believe so.
Yeah, well, we will, but we don't know how soon that will be. In other climes, I guess some people are already adjusting. Movie productions are ongoing. What can we borrow from that and localize for our production to see that somehow we still churn out this thing? These are things that actually help people relax. I, for one, when I'm just stressed up from work, sometimes lunch break, I just go and watch a movie and get back. So, I mean, and we need more movies to turn out. So how can we adjust?
So the thing for me is that because there is this high risk of fear that is still out there, whether you like it or not, the idea now is how do you convince people to walk into a cinema? Because, I mean, forget the outdoor thing. It's really not the same experience as sitting in the soundproof room and you have good sound that's hitting you. There's a difference to it. That experience is different. And we must get back to that. Why? Because we have almost about, 60 cinema screens that cannot waste. These are investments that we have to go back to. And so new protocols will have to be put in place. If there's anything that we need to do from our side, is improve the quality of our production. Because if I'm going to risk my life to go stay in a cinema to watch a production, then it has to be worth it. You can't just take anything now and put in the cinemas and expect people to go and spend. And the thing is, if the cinemas are going to cut down in terms of number of people that can be in a cinema, let's say a 90-seater cinema will probably cut down to 60. What that means is that they've cut down their revenue.
Yes.
If they're going to get that back, then those 60 people will have to pay more.
Pay a little more, yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? So if you were paying 2,000 naira to watch a movie, you probably might pay 3,000 or 4,000 naira now to go see a movie, and it has to be worth 4,000 naira. Don't forget that there's still the corn that you're going to buy and the drink that you're going to buy. By the time you put all that together, an experience for two people will probably cost you 10,000 naira. It has to be that if I walk out of that cinema, there is something that says I paid a good 10,000 naira to watch a good. So what we need to do as an industry, like you rightly said, we can't borrow from any other place. We just need to borrow sense and a lot of excellence in making sure we produce cinemas or production that can put in cinemas and people can, because the moment they come out, it's a word of mouth that actually sells cinemas in Nigeria.
That's true.
So you need them to come out and say, this was 10,000 naira worth spent,
Okay, and when I asked the last episode of this program, I talked about education, the opening of schools, and the guest I had, one of the guests I interviewed, she talked about the fact that when schools get resumed, they have to have this dual learning where students are learning in the classroom, and somehow they're also transmitting this to children at home, because some parents will not be comfortable with their children actually getting back to school. So in movies production or theater production, for instance, since I know that, okay, the online is still there, virtual is still there, I get my TV screen, I just put off the lights, I buy popcorn, then I just stay and start to watch. I mean, decide not to go there. So I guess that's still another way we can get to...
Well, I mean, it's always been there. Trust me, there are a lot of times people prefer to stay at home and watch the box office of DSTV or watch the Netflix or the locals online. People have always had that. But trust me, there is nothing better than driving out to pick your lovely lady, put her in the car, drive out to a mall.
We can do that in the house now.
The experience is not the same.
He can drive you to a house, pick her up from my house, stop by the mall, buy the popcorn.
Maybe the surround speakers that you have in your house are not that loud. There is some action where you
of course, the environment,
when it hits
the ambience.
the ambience is pretty much what the experience is, what is being sold, not necessarily the movie. So we need to get back there. But like I said, for me to want to do that, it has to be that I step in there and I come and say, okay, I spent good money. This production was really, really good. And that's all we need to do. So producers in Nollywood will have to sit up. So it's no more the room and parlor productions that we're doing. No, things have to go the extra mile now.
All right, so you can be part of this conversation. Just send a message to our phone lines, which will be showing on your screen shortly, and tell us what you miss about entertainment. How would you want the comeback to be? What are your expectations? During the lockdown, I know the first few weeks, Bolanle Austin Peters production, she did this thing. She actually put on online some of our productions, Fela and the Lakota Queens, and a couple of others. And it was a pretty good experience if you have good internet connection reflection. So are we going to see more of that?
Yeah. I think for me, that's a very strong foresight for her. And each time she does her theater productions, I believe she knows that there will be a time where these things become content, But just like a preparation, meeting an opportunity. And that was what happened.
Yeah.
So by the time you know that now, it now becomes a genre. It now becomes a norm that people now, so gradually. I was watching something on Universal Studios. It was a stage production. I was glued for 2.5 hours.
Exactly.
It was a stage production. They did everything, the frames, the timing. So at the point you forget that you're watching a stage,
play.
So I think we need more of that.
Yeah.
We need more of that in the virtual
Perry
space.
made his fortunes from doing stage and took them to television.
Yeah.
Because all he started with stage productions. They were recorded, and he took them to the cinema, to TV.
Yes.
And it became something else.
Yeah.
And then turned them into movies. That's how he made his fortune.
All right, so you know what's happened. The discussion continues. I expect your messages to start coming in. Tell us what your contribution on the Nigerian entertainment scene, what you expect to be the comeback. How have you been coping in these times? All right, we'll take a break, and when we return, the program will continue.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Well, I've been having a chat with the guests in the studio. It's getting interesting. Now, you know one thing I've just learned. They said you have to be a hustler to do what Bolanle Austin Peters has done. You know, where you can walk into a bank and you actually get a loan. But just before I get to meet, we'll get to meet our guest and talk a little further. I had a chat with the Director General of the Nigerian Council for Arts and Culture. He's one man who believes that somehow you always find a way of making things work. You know, NAFEST is scheduled to come up pretty soon, and but somehow with the whole COVID and everything, scares here and there, NAFEST was actually moved to December, but now the commissioners of art and culture in the different states are saying it should come back to November. Anyhow, I had a chat with Tumba Runshewe, the Director General of the NCAC, on how NAFEST is and its preparation for the future post-COVID. And here's my findings.
Wow. I like this.
Okay, that's it. Face
wow,
mask.
You did it for, you have a couple of it for customized for NCAC.
Yes, we actually donated this to the Nigerian police. During the COVID-19 proper, we had a lot of items we produced and were giving out to help Nigerians not to feel the impact of COVID-19 too much than they are. One way. Second way, everything we produce were local, including the face masks you are putting on. It's NCAC. Yeah. So we use the local fabrics. Why should we take our money out? So we decided to do. Now, the drive-in theater was an experience of a lifetime. We actually wanted to prove a point. They do it in Germany, in America, in London. And I said, why not Nigeria? So we've done it, and it was very successful. Ours is to prove that COVID-19 should not keep us stagnant. Every part of the world is thinking outside the box. What can we do? Which is what we took advantage of. So for NAFES, our thinking is NAFES just have to come. So to us, we need to go to Plateau. What happened is the program was supposed to be in October.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
But because the governor of Plateau State said because of COVID-19, we should please move it to December. But stakeholders are pleading with him through me that November would have been good because most states have other state events during December period. So we're going to going to present this to the governor. It's a man who listened to Right Honorable Bakola along with listen to people who have genuine and good reason for a national interest.
Otun Baron Shawe, you'll be pulling together a crowd of people. Many people have been having their events, their fairs, their shows virtually, but you're actually going to converge people. How are you going to manage that?
Now, programs are going on the whole world. Look, listen, people are misunderstanding something. If you have a hall that can take 500 participants or people, and you now break this hall to now invite only 180 participants with social distancing, you've achieved the same result because you're going to put your face masks and other things. There's air doctor now. In fact, if you fumigate the environment of where you're using, people are misunderstanding the regular fumigation of killing rats and cockroaches. No. You use this fumigation to purify the environment.
Yeah, besides, we're hopeful that by the time it's NAFES time, things would have eased off a little close to us. Now, I saw you had a meeting with some commissioners virtually. Tell us in summary, what was the outcome of all that?
Well, honestly, today I feel very happy and proud that this sector, we have woken up to our responsibility. The meeting virtually we had today, I think we have broken record.
Oh, really?
All the 36 states and Abuja were on the platform.
Okay.
We interacted. We discussed on the way forward and what we need to do. So what happened today was that a lot of ideas came up, but the general view is that every state is appealing to His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, to please. He was suggesting December. They are appealing to him through me that we should make it November.
Of all the participants, they were all comfortable with having NAFES?
Oh, absolutely. There was no
Oh, I thought there might be someone who is a little skeptical to say, my state is backing out. I don't want to.
No. We don't have that because it's a very simple reason. You see, let me describe COVID-19 to you.
Tell me.
COVID-19 is like rain. You must think of how to dry your body after the rainfall. Even during the rain period, you can still take raincoats or umbrella, etc., to still move. We cannot keep Nigeria one place because of a sickness. Agreed. It is pandemic. We must stand up to our responsibility as human beings. When we are to have the drive-in theater at the Sheraton, people were saying, no, is it possible? They've done it in America, in Germany. Can we do it? But we successfully did it. Nobody came out of his car. All the COVID-19 protocol were observed. We had COVID-19 marshals who were specially for that. You don't come out of your car. You have to sit down in your car. There's social distancing. Even on the stage, there was social distancing. You see, we must get out of something. The attitude and the idea of saying the country cannot do it. It should stop. We can't do it. We can even do it better. All we need is the interest and the focus to achieve that.
Okay, I agree with you that we can do it. So, basic sanitation like hand washing is important. Do you have plans for this? I mean, is there anything you want to show us in regards to this when you go for NAFES?
Even right now, within our premises here, we have 2 locally made. One, you use your leg to dispense water. You use your leg to dispense sanitizer and soap.
I would like to see a practical of it.
Yeah, it's downstairs, and we have another one that can go for over 1,000 people at a time. And we also have acquired some fumigating equipment, which we are taking to Jos.
Wow, okay.
Then some specialized electronic and broadcasting equipment. For instance, if you come to NAFES, you want to interview somebody, we've bought the long handler. You just put your microphone there and you interview. I mean, you've observed the social distance. So we have done a lot. All the cars that we carry participants during NAFES will be fumigated every 2 hours. These are all the things we've put in place. I want to make sure, look, our hosting NAFES is to tell the whole world the Nigerian can do it and do it even better. That's the strategy.
I really want to believe you. I would like to see the hand washing thing.
Oh, they're downstairs.
Okay, you want to show it to me?
Oh,
Let's
please.
see how it works.
Be happy to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is locally made. Everything is done locally at home here.
Okay.
The welding, etc. Now, you can use this to dispense water. Yes.
And this one is for the soap?
Yeah, this is for the soap.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And this also use your leg.
For the
no contact and for the sanitizer.
Okay.
So everything is done here. We produce it locally and we got them to do it. So this will be at every hostel, at every venue, at everywhere the event are taking place.
Okay.
It will be there.
Okay. Then if you want to show us the other one.
Yeah, this other one, this on its own, we're going to take this to all the major venues in Jos. And then to produce.
How many liters do you say this is?
This over 900 liters.
Oh, I would like to have a look at your gallery. I've not been.
Oh, please, it's right there. Here is our personal gallery. We go to appearance. We go to locally produced items like this. I'm sure you are aware of the gong we use for. I have to know, how are you? Do you know this IO game now, for instance? A lot of them are produced locally and they even buy from Nigeria to take out of the country.
Okay.
Yes, things like this IO game. And let me let something out for you.
Okay.
In the last 20 years, Nigerian arts and craft are being collected and being sold out by other African countries, claiming it's their own original items.
Thank you very much. I just needed to be sure that you are set and ready for NAFEST and all, and you considered all the safety protocols. And I'm good to know that.
All right, then that was my meeting, my chat with the Director General of the NTA, Otumba Shegun Runche. Well, it says that they're ready for NAFEST. I don't know if you know NAFEST. I mean, a whole lot of people gather. Francis Zuru, you've been part of several NAFEST. And Otumba says he has everything under control. Knowing the kind of man that he is, do you think he can really pull this?
No, for Otumba Rusewe, I tell you the truth. You say, man, when it gets to like managing and putting things together in accordance to a template, he has all it takes, the discipline. You saw the driving theater.
Yeah, the driving theater.
When we had, he said he's building a tunnel. I said, tunnel for what? He said, just watch. Now, I found out that the tunnel just represented the red carpet. So you drive in your car, and by the walls, pictures, culture, everything. It's a totally new thing. So for him to say that, I know he has already figured that out. And let me tell you the truth. Art reorders the world. And art is more orderly than real life. So this is the one time we need to see the power of the art in, actually selling the new normal. that we can actually be orderly in this state. When we say observe social distancing, we can still do that and get to the things we want. And I believe for that, for NAFES, I think it's going to be a wonderful experiment.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that happen.
Yeah, I attended the Zoom meeting he had with the commissioners of arts and culture, and they all were in support of the. Well, everybody look forward to it, and we actually hopes that somehow he pulls this through. Let's take a few messages, and we'll get to Dimbo. Good day, and to you and your guests. Please help me ask Mr. Dimbo when the season 3 of Sons of the Caliphate will be coming out. That's one. My name is King Biggie. I'm a comedian. The lockdown hasn't been fun. It's been weird. I like actors like Francis Duru and Dimbo Atia. We have so many messages. Please, I would like you to keep your messages very short and brief as you send this message. Someone here sent me the entire 8 pages. All right, someone else says, a wonderful program. I pray COVID-19 stops so that we can actually bounce back to normal. All right, Dimbo, we are gradually running up. We've enumerated all the problems, all the challenges. What do you think will be the solution? What solution can you prefer in this regard?
So for me, I think that in realizing that there is something called the new normal, in which I totally agree with my guy here, that things would definitely go back to what we used to know. But when even it goes back, it's going to be to an advantage, because we're going to be going back with a different attitude or a different mindset if we're even going to go back to the normal. And what that means is that skills, the best of it, is what will make this industry move forward. Why? Because you cannot afford to have too many people on your set right now. And so you're looking out for people who can really do this work. And so people must understand that for us to move forward, you must improve on your skill. It is a solution that we must deal with for us to be able to produce some of the best productions out there. The other thing that we need to also understand is that there must be a need for us to begin to see how we can collaborate with each other. Because this is about me doing my own things.
Collaboration.
Collaboration is the biggest thing right now that anybody, because not one person has the entire resources to do anything. And so if 3 of you had the budget to do 3 different movies, bring it together to make one quality film, that is a step forward. I tell you for a fact that Innovative Television Contents and Sadao Pictures with Altine consultants, 3 of us are currently on set doing a mini-series. It's a limited series called The Plan. And it is us experimenting to say, do you know what? Rahama Sadao and I and Safina too, and one of our friends and myself sat down and said, you know what, can we just do a 5-episode series, and put it out there and see what this collaboration thing with, just 5 episodes. And trust me, I have just been open to a world that says, you know what, collaboration is the way forward, because the amount of resources or the amount of effort we're able to put together, the 3 of us, to get this production done is amazing. So that is the way forward.
Collaboration.
It's the in thing. Forget that it is your film. It's not your film now.
Yes.
Because if Francis Duru has something that I don't, and you have something that I don't, if the 3 of us put our heads together, trust me, it is one production that is going to come out right. And you see, the thing is that the moment the quality is good, the returns are good.
The returns are good.
So even if you're going to online platforms to say we want to sell, you sell higher. Why? Because you have a production that is fantastic. They cannot ignore by saying, oh, we're giving no. If you take them to the cinema, people will go in and come out and say, oh wow, okay, that was a good production. So the solution is simple. We need to begin to do quality stuff. We need to begin to put in more effort, and this collaboration thing has to be there. If not, we will not go anywhere.
During part of what the lockdown has actually birthed is the fact that there are so many talents in this country. That's why we saw many skits. I mean, we just saw many talents coming up. I never know who Mr. Macaroni is before, and now I see he's a brand ambassador for 1 or 2 brands. So many other people are coming up with their skits. So, do you think, like in the movement from analog to digital broadcasting, they say content is king, we need more content. So content like this, how can we tap in from the many talents we've discovered in these times? How can these people get to make money? How can we, because many jobs will be lost, like you've just said, but how can many people who are online now, how can they make money from the arts?
My take is simply this. This has opened up a new vista, new opportunity. But the one thing about us especially in Nigeria, we have this tendency to abuse some things. Content is king does not mean that all content. Just like the operative word he just said is excellence. And what is excellent? You cannot do an excellent job if you do not collaborate. I don't have this, you have this. It speaks with the entirety of it. What goes to the virtual space must be excellent.
Yes.
If not, you congest the place, and if people are going there and the things they are saying is not what they leave. So we must be very, 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 picky about the things that go into that space. It is the content that determines the sacredness of the container. If you go there online, you see, John, because while you're saying that some persons now have decided that everybody is doing skit. There are thousands of ones I've seen, they've sent to me script and all that stuff. I say, okay, don't worry, we'll talk. But like he said, it's time for something new. We need to be very, very collaborative. When he said being collaborative, it's a multi-way thing. Policymakers should, as much as possible, try to actually inspire the growth in the industry and not stifle growth.
Okay. I guess, like I said earlier, the committee that Alibaba heads, maybe some of these ideas, maybe we need to share some of these ideas so that somehow they can actually, the PTF or whoever lifts up the ban on this, I think the government can actually lift up the ban on entertainment.
And if I may add, please, because we're on national television, I'm sure all the big people are hearing, please, if you're listening to us, there is something that I'm trying to beg on behalf of the industry.
Okay.
One thing you must understand that for the film and the TV industry to grow, even the theater industry, technically nothing that we use in this industry is produced in this country. Technically. When I say technically, I mean all the equipment that we use are not produced in this country. Is it that we rent them from abroad or we buy them from abroad? And we pay so much money to bring them in. There's so much custom duties, taxes that we pay on these things that somebody should please look and say, if this equipment are for filmmaking, allow it to enter. Can we get some sort of waiver? I can confidently tell you that even hard drives, which is the major thing that we consume in this industry, we don't produce in this country. Recently, I bought 200 terabytes of hard drives. They came through the ports, and I had to pay almost #1 million to clear them.
Wow, okay.
Why? Because they couldn't believe that, this is for a production. They thought I'm selling them. No, so I'm just making a case.
Okay, I get it. Tax waivers. I know the Vice President's office is promoting the ease of doing business, and there's so much. So I think these are very important things.
Very,
and somehow
very
we'll just keep lending our voice to this. So I have a few messages. Everybody, I thank you all for appreciating the program. Francis Duru, there are many people who want to act. They need your guidance. And people need more films. I don't know, somehow in your industries, you're also both in movies and theater. Put us together and let's see what we can do. The voice, want to hear that your song. That song that you sing in the bathroom.
I've forgotten about that.
Anything, just...
no, the voice is not there. Maybe next time when you're doing the
Francis,
show,
you want to help him?
I'll be here.
No, we get inspired to see.
All right, thank you very much for being part of this program. Thank you very much for being there and completing the pictures. I got your messages. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for loving what we're doing. We love the fact that you are there. I've been having Dimbo Atiya with me, movie producer, director, writer, not an actor. Then I have Francis Duru, an actor, a theater artist. I don't know if he's a singer because he wouldn't sing.
I sing for
money.
All
right, he sings for money. All right, and my name is Cecil Egbele. I actually talk for money. All right, bye-bye.